Eyal Feldman is back with us, the founder and CEO of Boy Butter. You can check it out at boybutter.com. Boy Butter on Instagram, Twitter, and here in our studio. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, guys. Hello and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
You can still say that in February, right?
Well, also, I mean, we just recently had the Chinese New Year, so it's even more New Year than it was before.
Lunar New Year as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's get super specific then.
And as I walked in, I saw your daughter for the first time. She's really cute, and I'm like, oh my God. I finally get to see her. I've only heard of her.
I know. She's a mini version of me.
She's adorable.
Thank you.
I can't even imagine her not being sweet.
Oh, she's a brat.
She was behind that door and it was closed, so I don't know.
Yeah, trust me. Be glad there's a wall separating us, or two in this case, because she's a monster.
But I was getting some water and she was like, she waved to me, and I'm like, that's really sweet. And I waved back, and it was unprompted, so it was really that was
she's
sweet.
nice to some adults.
And then she yelled out, "I hope you die!"
She did not do that.
She definitely
I wouldn't put it past
her. Save me! They beat me at home.
Unlock the door.
That is something your daughter would do.
It is.
Like she would see a wealthy family at the mall. Take me home. They beat me.
Yeah, she would do that.
And you're like, take her.
Yeah,
like,
really.
You can have her.
Take my wife, please.
That's a fair trade.
Yeah. I don't need her. Go ahead. It's all yours. I know, I'm a horrible person. Anyway, how's it going?
It's going really well. It's been a really hectic day. We just completed shooting our new commercial for VH1 and for RuPaul's Drag Race, which starts next week. So we're going to be finishing it up, and it'll be finalized on Friday. And then next week, it'll be done. And I'm really excited because this is going to be our 5th commercial on RuPaul's Drag Race. And we have a new model. His name is Facundo. I don't know if you guys know G-Bar on 19th Street. Yeah. He runs G-Bar. Beautiful guy. And you can find him on Facundo on Instagram. He's one of the only ones. And my videographer is Daniel Robinson. And he's a genius. So expect to see some butter churning action.
Of course.
And RuPaul's Drag Race is like the gay Super Bowl. And people like go to bars collectively and watch it with the same level of intensity as the Super Bowl, but obviously for gays.
Right.
And we just signed contracts today for Los Angeles, Spectrum in Los Angeles, Spectrum in New York City, Comcast in Chicago, and nationwide in Canada.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing that for 14 weeks, and it's. I'd have to say it's the most effective thing we ever do is RuPaul's Drag Race. May it continue to season 1 million. When she's like coming out in a walker and she's like,
you're like, please keep doing this show. It sells my lube.
Well, it is interesting. It's funny because RuPaul, like when they do prizing for the queens on the show, they want to give them whatever wigs and dresses and jewelry and everything because for drag queens they need wigs.
Yeah.
But if you're a wig manufacturer, I'm not really sure how many new wig customers you're picking up from RuPaul's Drag Race. I assume there are a fair number of people who watch the show and do drag, but I would imagine that, for you with lube, this is much more your demo than like a wig manufacturer, even though there are a lot of wigs on the show.
I do the RuPaul's drag conventions in New York and Los Angeles, and you'll have I'm the only lube company that I've seen there, but the accessory industries that are there, like boobs for queens.
Right.
Yeah.
They have wigs all over the place, makeup, like the biggest makeup brands as well. But it is and I would say it's like 60-70% women,
right,
and their daughters.
Yeah.
That's who goes to these things. I don't know if you guys have been to the New York one.
We haven't.
We haven't. No.
Well, when we appear, I'm going to give you guys free tickets so you can come and you'll be my workers.
Right.
And you guys can come and check
this. We know how this game.
Yeah, and you guys can check it out because it is the funnest convention. I do conventions all year long. I'd probably do like 7 or 8. I just got back from Vancouver last week, the Taboo Naughty But Nice show, and it's mostly straight.
Right.
And they're really lovely people, and it's really nice selling. I mean, I sold out, and it's really nice selling Boy Butter to people who have never even heard of it, or it's not even on their radar. But the drag conventions are the funnest conventions I have ever worked, and I will do them as long as they have them. But it is like, it's just such a pleasure. It's so fun. It's like kind of like going to like glam camp, you know?
That. Yeah.
And you see all these queens that you see on TV, and RuPaul comes by and she greets all of the exhibitors, and she's really sweet. And everybody's doing selfies and promoting themselves, and it's really, really fun. And I think the LA drag convention is going to be May 24th, 26th, and we're going to be exhibiting there as well. So if you guys are in LA during the drag convention, I think they do the finale reveal, or they do the whole they shoot the last episode, you know, when there's a whole audience, and they're like, so it's really cool for that. And you just see how much the drag industry has grown because of this show. And RuPaul is just, I'm so in awe of what she has done. Yeah. And if RuPaul's Drag Race was not on the air, I can't imagine, what would I be running my ads on? Reruns of Golden Girls on Lifetime or Oxygen or something? I can't think of what.
They're not even on Oxygen anymore, RIP.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, Betty White is, but the other three, they're not with us.
Is it the Hot in Cleveland show? Is that still happening?
No.
Oh, God, I'm so out of it.
I was making a joke about the Oxygen Network, but also the actual oxygen that people breathe. But anyway, let's move on. I was there. I don't know that everyone else was there with me. Okay, so anyway, yes, you're right. As an opportunity, where else are you going to have this kind of captive audience that is sort of a perfect demo for
the show has single-handedly resurrected gay bars.
Right.
Thursday night is now a huge night where gay bars were on the decline because everyone's ordering in on their grinders and their griddle cakes, or whatever you want to call it.
Griddle cake.
And, why go out when you can order in? Mm-hmm. But this show has really brought back gay social scene face to face, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. I'm really excited. So we're going to be pushing our next commercial coming out next week, and I'm really excited because nobody ever sees butter churns outside of reruns of Little House on the Prairie.
I was gonna say, do most young people even if you showed my daughter what a butter churn, she wouldn't know what the fuck it was.
Doesn't know what a rotary phone is.
That's true.
Doesn't know what MySpace is.
She just look at it and be like, "Why is there this bucket with a pole in it?"
Yeah, I have adults who are like, "What is that thing?" Oh my God! When I go through TSA with that thing,
right?
Nobody in TSA knows what it is, and I'm like, "Is there no farm equipment going through here? Are people not going to Iowa anymore?"
Well, how big is your butter churn?
It is about this tall,
so
about
3 feet
tall, and it's very stereotypical tapered edge wood, and you obviously lift it up and down, and they make me put it together and they make me use it, and they're like, "Watch out, it could be a terrorist."
I was gonna say, couldn't the pole,
a wooden Amish terrorist?
Couldn't the pole that you used to do the churn be used as a weapon?
You never know these days. Yeah, exactly.
Is that what they say?
I could if I would. That stick is a legit stick,
right?
If I wanted to, and they let me bring that on in the cabin.
That's crazy to me that they let you do that.
I mean, I've never seen an Amish person on a plane yet. They barely have cell phones.
They aren't right.
Here's the question I have for you though. Why don't you just get a plastic case made for it and just fucking pack it and
an instrument, an instrument. I never even thought about
get yourself
a cello case.
Well, not even a cello is the case, but you could just get a case made for it and then just carry it around in the case.
That is interesting. That would be cool if I walked around with a hot pink case and I burst my churn and I just sit in Times Square and just churn away.
You're so fucking funny. This is how I want to imagine you make boy butter. You're just sitting in the old
churning
factory,
away.
just churning away.
It's so FDA approved.
Yeah.
Making my lube and my churn by myself.
Hysterical. Oh my God.
They'd lock me up and throw away the key.
I'm sure they would. Now, you've had some issues in the past with the content of your boy butter commercials.
Yes.
Being too racy for television.
And by too racy, they mean too gay.
Right.
Because if you've seen any Carl Jr.'s commercials, it's basically a
woman filleting a hamburger.
Exactly. Or a hot dog and the ketchup drips on her chest. And I'm like, they let this on? but you can't show a guy churning butter. I mean,
with an actual butter churn.
With an actual butter churn.
That is so wholesome too, even though he's probably naked. It is very wholesome to churn butter.
Now wait a minute, is he naked and in just an apron?
He was wearing like Speedos Speedos, but then he has an apron covering his chest, and I mean it's like a short skirt, you would say, like it covers. But yeah, it's a little racy, but it's like at most maybe PG-13 at most.
Yeah,
I would even say PG. Because you don't show very much, but the fact that it was banned by Comcast in Chicago, and I wrote a whole article about how this is like really unfair because of like Carl's Jr. or whatever other commercials. It's like, how are you allowing this? But you're telling me it's not a fit for your clients or the audience. It's RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
Who do you think is going to be watching this?
Right.
So they reversed their decision, and now luckily this is my third year in a row running ads in Chicago.
So will this ad also feature your friend half naked churning butter?
It will feature a very hot Argentinian man churning butter, and he will be scantily clad, and he will be churning away. And it will be very, very suggestive, and no product shots. It's just rock and roll music, churning butter very slowly with bedroom eyes towards the camera. And that's all you need. Like, you don't need to do more than that.
Nope.
So all you need is a little suggestion.
A little innuendo, that's all you need?
Innuendo.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. I was going to do that myself.
You should feel free.
Let me ask you a question.
Shade Bell.
Ask me anything you like, my love.
All right, so because in the chat room they brought this up, and it is true. Young children watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Whole families come to me
about
at the convention. They're like, we all watch. Do you remember my black and white one where they're saying, boy butter lubes?
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, the whole family memorizes the ad. And I'm like, what is a whole family eating dinner watching RuPaul's Drag Race? It's so weird.
So here's my question. Do you feel at all self-conscious or awkward that there are, young people are watching these suggestive ads?
Are they not watching the other suggestive ads? And is male sexuality, the male body, not something that is natural?
No, listen, I agree with you.
And he's by himself. It's not like two guys making out.
Right.
It's a guy by himself that's very sexy, and that in and of itself is suggestive. But we're all sexual beings, even children. And if your parents are letting you watch at 9 p.m., or if they're letting you watch that show, you have your parental permission, and it is. I've seen worse on that show, commercial-wise, and on the actual show itself.
I agree with this. I think this is all fair.
I mean, my feeling about this is that it's not a kids show. This is a show about adults for adults. Now, if parents decide that it's cool for their kids to watch a show about drag queens, in particular before, like when it was on a gay network, but more importantly, even on VH1. Like, it is nothing about the show is geared toward children. I think depending on your age appropriateness for your kids, if you have an 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old who is interested and wants to watch, like, I don't think there's anything on there that is necessarily objectionable that they shouldn't watch, but you also have to keep in mind, like, it's not geared for them. So if they do end up seeing things that you have to explain to them, you as a parent are making a choice to have them watch something that is not for them, which I think is very different than the parents who get upset when Romaine calls somebody a cunt in line for the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. Those parents came to a place they thought would be a perfectly nice, acceptable place for their children to be.
You just love to throw
and
this
then
out.
this bitch over here is all cunt this and shit that. While in line at Disneyland. It is very inappropriate.
You got to learn those words somewhere.
Yeah, so that is different to me. But it's the same thing with, like, Pride. Like, why do people have to have their asses hanging out at Pride? People might bring their kids. If people bring their kids to Pride, they're going to see what they see. Pride doesn't have to.
I'm an adult at Pride, and I don't want to see that.
But even still, Pride doesn't need to clean up its act to attract kids. Like, it's not for kids.
Because my eyes are sensitive.
They're virgin
eyes.
if somebody with an unpleasant ass wants one day a year where they can shake it in somebody's face.
Girl, I'm going to pick one day this year.
No.
I'm gonna shake my ass in your face.
Not
It could be right now. Don't make me stand up. Do not make me stand up and shake my face. If I'm just one person,
don't show your face, Romaine. I want you in a full burqa.
One day a year, I should get to shake my naked ass.
Well,
Norman,
if it's going to be this
nobody
year,
wants to see
World
that.
Pride, you're going to need to shake it this year for World Pride.
Oh, yeah. Are you doing anything special around World Pride since it's here in New York?
I'm going to be drunk and dancing and running around and having fun and hopefully not working.
Right.
Good luck with that. I have a feeling because you're like us. You're a small business owner. There is no such thing as not working.
Yeah, I'm always on. I am on it like a bonnet, if you know me.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the whole wholesome on TV thing, it's like my parents let me watch whatever we wanted, no matter what. And I don't know, because we're immigrants. I don't know if it was like a very kind of Euro thing that they didn't really, nudity or whatever, they didn't really frown upon that. But my husband, who's brought up in a Catholic family in New Jersey, wasn't even allowed to watch, and I'm dating myself, Three's Company.
Really?
Was not allowed to watch that.
Interesting.
And I remember that was my favorite show growing up, watching that show. And yeah, it might have been, I can see there was a lot of sexual innuendo and stuff like that. And
that's all that show was.
It was all like, God, miscommunication and sexual innuendo.
Right.
Was like 97%. But I never thought of it as something that would be like you would shield your child from.
Well, maybe they should have been shielded from it. None of the women were wearing a bra. And every episode was about how a straight man was living with two women but pretended to be gay so that he wouldn't get kicked out of the apartment. And then hilarity would ensue when he would try to make it with some girl and then, whatever, Mr. Furley was like, what's going on over here?
What's going on, you fairy?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, brothers. Oh, terrible. Anyway, not really a kid's show, although childish antics for sure.
Definitely.
But yeah, I do think that is a situation where I can understand why parents would say, I don't know that this is a racy adult sitcom. This is not specifically for kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let my kids watch it. My mom didn't like us to watch a lot of the sort of jiggle television that was on. She didn't think it was particularly edifying. But even still, we watched so much crap when I was a kid. Like, I can't even begin. Plus, we had these terrible, the after-school specials were filled with one trauma after another. These TV movies that they would make for kids that were just like, 14-year-old girl with a heroin addiction or whatever else. I was like, well, this is okay for kids to watch? Like, we're learning about other kids our age by watching these.
The Helen Hunt after-school special where she does PCP and throws herself out the
oh my God, Derek!
The second floor chemistry lab window.
So many times.
Angel Dusted.
Angel Dust.
Yeah.
I love that. I need to get myself some of that.
No. The one I was traumatized by, and by the way, it's on YouTube, so you can watch it, is this TV movie about a girl on a school bus, and her school bus stalls out on a railroad track and is hit by a train, and she's the only survivor.
Oh.
Jesus fuck.
And I'm like, 4:00 in the afternoon, 5 minutes into this TV movie, and it's a busload of kids hit by a train. And like, this was totally acceptable programming for kids to watch in the afternoon when their parents weren't at home.
Terrifying.
And I am still traumatized. That and the blind school fire on Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, no.
God.
Oh, my God. Excuse me. That was traumatizing.
Yeah, when they went to Mankato.
Yeah. It's very upsetting.
God,
anyway,
I love that show.
So I think compared to a boy butter ad in between drag queens lip syncing for their life and a woman holding a baby in her arms burning to death on television for children, like, I think the boy butter lube is fine.
Yeah, and I probably should run my boy butter ads on those Little House on the Prairie runs, and I'll ask when they have the blind school on fire one, so it'll bring a smile to your face.
No, it won't. I'll be
between the tears,
shivering and traumatized in a fetal position. It is upsetting just thinking about it. It's very upsetting.
Is that a giant bottle of the clear lube that you brought?
Yes, it is. It is our
my
clear. This is our bestseller.
It's the best lube. Can I be honest? It's my favorite lube you've made.
Yes.
Of all, because I have tried all of your lubes over the years. I did really like the one that had the menthol in it too.
Yeah, Fresca.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
But this clear lube is by far my favorite lube.
So the
I
clear
use it
lube
all the time.
The clear lube is our bestseller at the shows, especially at like the drag convention or the one I was just at with straight people. They love this stuff. And what Boy Butter Clear is, it is a water vitamin E hybrid, totally water-based, latex safe, vaginally safe. But I add vitamin E, which gives you the feel that like it's silicone, but it's washable, so you don't have to worry about your sheets or like put towels down or
None of that nonsense.
No more shame stains is written right on the bottle. No more shame stains.
I got to be honest. Here's what I love about this lube because I use it at home. It's my personal favorite.
I brought this for you.
Thank you. I'm going to totally steal that because my little one is running out. But here's what I love about this lube: is a little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's thicker. It's like it's got that kind of thickness that I like in a lube. I don't like a super thin lube. And it's just a very good smooth, and it washes off super easy. No staining. It's just a solid lube.
Yeah, when I sell this, I'm like, you know what? This is like the Goldilocks.
It doesn't
lube.
dry out.
There's like, that basic water-based KY on this side, which doesn't last at all.
No.
And then you have the silicone, which never comes off of anything.
Right.
And then this is right in the middle.
It's kind of in the middle. No, I think I really do love this lube.
Yeah.
I really do use it at home all the time.
I tell people it's like, some people say save the whales. I say save the sheets.
Yeah.
Okay? No more like wiggling on that little towel or like worrying where you put your hands because that's a distraction. If you can't touch the things around you while you're in the moment, then that's a distraction.
Or a crime scene.
Or like,
crime scene.
or here's the other thing. And this
it's my next commercial idea.
But like if you're using
Don't touch anything with your fingerprints.
And you're using a toy, you're going to lube up the toy, and then you're going to have a hand covered in lube.
Yeah.
But you need to hold the toy with that hand that's covered in lube.
Don't you have two hands?
You have to wipe that hand that's covered in lube off on the bed, let's be honest, and then be able to hold the toy. Like, that's just how it works.
And if it's a silicone toy, you can't use silicone lube.
Right.
And
I only use high-end silicone toys at home. So.
Yeah, and this is water-based, so it doesn't react. And I don't understand silicone. I've never understood silicone lube. I created this business as a reaction to all the sheets I've lost from silicone lube.
Yep.
All right.
So I needed something to be you wash and go like Pert Plus.
Or a whore.
Or a whore.
That whore is wash and go.
That's right.
You just rinse it off and send it on its way.
Jesus Christ.
But
it's true.
It is true. Well, we appreciate you dropping by to see us.
Thank you.
And always wonderful. And people should watch out for your commercial on this season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes. So next week on RuPaul's Drag Race, we're going to be in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and nationwide in Canada. Go to boybutter.com. If anybody wants to purchase anything, use our coupon code BUTTER. And mention that you're a Derek and Romaine listener, and we're going to give you guys some free goodies for everybody.
Oh, nice.
Because we always treat your audience especially
well. And they
well.
appreciate it.
Because we're fighting friction left, right, and center.
I know.
My love.
As you should. And by the way, lesbians, I'm not kidding. This Boy Butter Clear is a really solid lube for you ladies out there, too. I know we talk about the boys a lot, but for the ladies out there, this is a really solid option.
Yeah, almost half my customers are female.
Yeah.
And they love this product. And just because it's called Boy Butter, it's not just for boys.
No.
Okay, guys?
Yeah, it is definitely for you lesbots out there, too.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Spread
Thank
the
you.
butter. I love you guys. And I'll see you soon.
All right,
Sounds good.